Hey guys, this is Jay. Welcome to the Atlanteans, episode 36. I'm here with Alec and Joe. How you guys doing tonight?
Hello, I am doing well. How are you doing, Joe?
Good. We nailed the intro tonight. It's much better than last time.
Woohoo!
Feeling very professional tonight.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? What are you guys working on?
Let's see. I am currently cutting apart. Um, I just blanked on his Carver's War Pig. He's an MD-48.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what his number is?
Why are you cutting him
Most
apart?
massive destruction. Yep.
Because I'm gonna make the barrels spin, and I'm trying to figure out where I can put a motor and a battery pack
Awesome.
because I have problems.
Well, there's good problems and bad problems, and those seem like good problems to me.
Yeah, it's not gonna be too hard.
Well said.
It's basically just cutting or hollowing out
Yeah.
the gun assembly area, and then just putting a small spinning motor, and then running the wiring directly underneath to a small battery pack. I'm trying to figure out where to hide the battery pack, like to make it look to blend in with the ammo system on his back. Or what I might do is break him off the base and 3D print a bigger base, and then just hide the battery pack in the base.
Yeah,
But
I'd either do
that's
that
my
or put him on some sort of like larger chunk of scenery that can fit the battery pack inside it.
Yeah, that's why it's like by
Yeah.
3D printing, it's like a bigger, like a hill or
Yeah.
something
Something like that.
maybe take some of the terrain from the my mini factory.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
But that's what I'm working on. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to paint him first, like because I've already cut, like broken him down,
Yeah.
or if I want to finish him, get him all set, and then paint him. So that's what I'm working on.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm prepping for a Journeyman League. I'm working on Old Lumbery. Getting stuff painted. I'm generally happy. There's a couple models that I've painted that I'm less than happy with.
I'm
Do you want to
happy.
talk about what you're painting?
Yeah, tell us about
gingerly?
it. Yeah, tell us about your painting.
So yeah, I'm Umbry is they look okay. I think I'm getting closer towards the scheme that I like, but I've repainted a couple of guys a bunch of times, and even if I strip them, I feel like they're not going to be and start over. They're not going to be as good. So I'm sort of almost to the point where I might scrap it and do something else, but I don't know.
You mean scrap old Umbry?
No, not scrap Old Umbry, but play something different, like play Grimkin or play something else. I'm just not. I'm not happy with the way the army looks and how the game is going. I have some. I have some other options, but like, do I just buy a whole other box of another starter box to get another unit of Chosen? Because like, I'm really not happy with one of the 3 models of Chosen. One of them needs to be stripped and repainted because it's the paint on it you can see is thick. And only one of
I
the 3
feel like
looks
there's got to
good.
be a used box somewhere, or somebody will sell you just the Chosen. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I gotta look around for that possibly. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sort of at the spot where like I repainted them and did a bunch of washes and oil washes and stuff, and now trying to paint over that is not as I'm not as happy with it as I would be if it was I was starting from scratch, stuff like that.
Yeah, you can. There can be a point where it gets hard to keep modifying it, right?
Right.
Yeah, I get
Exactly.
that.
See, that's why I hide all my bad painting behind, 3D effects. No one cares if I painted it badly if the barrels spin.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Right.
Well, kind of.
No, kind of like, but yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to make a model cool, right? And like, spinning barrels is one of them. Absolutely.
All right. So, what are we doing tonight? So the first thing I want to say is that, congratulations guys. We're coming up on our 2-year anniversary on the 13th of June. So,
That's crazy.
yep.
How many total episodes do you know?
This is 36 actual episodes, and I think we have 4 like additional or talking about a Kickstarter are talking about
Wow. Man,
like
that's a lot.
extra special. So I think 40. I think we're at like 40 episodes total.
Who'd have thought we'd still be at it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. Imagine we'll
True longevity for sure.
Definitely lasted longer than I think any other podcast I've been on. I've had other podcasts I've been on that lasted longer, but not with me on it. I left after like a year or after a period of time. Or the podcast just crumbled. So
I mean, I
Well,
guess
we all know this one
I'm
lasted
going to
because of
say
Joe,
yes, right?
obviously.
Yeah. We'll just keep doing this one till we die,
Yeah.
though. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We're in the long-term commitment.
as long as
That
both of you
senior
continue to
officer
play Warmachine.
relationship, right?
I mean, I'm just gonna haunt you guys after I die because we all know you're both gonna outlive me.
Oh.
So you'll just hear the scratching in the background and be like, "Oh, Alex here again."
Yeah.
The lights
Our
flicker.
Our audio, no, when our bad, we'll just say, "Oh, that's Alec," right? No
Yeah.
big deal.
Well, the two of you just need to keep playing Warmachine. I think I could trust that Alex can keep playing Warmachine, but Joe, with you moving and focusing on other things and having a kid be starting to get into the get more and more active and taking up your time. I'm worried about you're going to take a break again.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna
I think
stick with it.
breaks are part of why I keep enjoying Warmachine, right? Like,
Right.
honestly, it's nice to take a break and to come back. Like,
Mm-hmm.
makes me interested in it. It
Yeah,
has to
yeah.
not be a grind, right? Like,
Yeah.
breaks are good.
You could also take a break for like 2 or 3 months and come back and take a break for 2 or 3 months, or even like 6 months, and then join us at Nova. And you can still chat with us while you're doing that.
Honestly, that's kind of what I've been
painting,
doing. Is I do a couple months on, a couple months off. Like,
Yeah.
keeps it fresh, keeps it exciting.
Wish I could do that, but yeah. All right.
Joe, what are you gonna have painted for Nova? Because I know that you're gonna you have something new, right? Or are you gonna do something new?
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna paint Scuttlebutt, I think, for sure. I'm on the fence about whether I'm gonna play at Nova. Every day I don't play Warmachine makes me more excited to play Warmachine at Nova. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
so when I got back from Beaucourt, I wasn't like, I'm not angry at Warmachine or upset
Right.
with it. I was like, I was full. It's like I had a big meal, right? Like I'm not hungry. But it's been about a month. I've only really played one game. Yeah, kind of getting a little bit itchy again. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Maybe I can make it work. I think Scuttlebutt seems really cool, and he opens up some cool list opportunities. And it's the chance to paint one model that could make one or two of my lists a little bit different, and so I think that's exciting.
Yeah.
And he looks really cool too.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be here yesterday. He's not. He's supposed to come tomorrow. I can't wait to get my hands on his pieces so I can figure out, what kind of mods I have to do to him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, someone posted a hilarious picture on the Discord. I don't know if this is true or not. They said they didn't get his shell, and so it's a picture of Scuttlebutt with like his butt. Like, have you seen this
Wait,
thing?
which Discord? The
I
Delaware?
don't know. I think it might be
Oh.
Delaware. Seems like it could have been Delaware, or maybe it's the official Warmachine. No, yeah, it's Delaware. Here, I'll put it in. This is hilarious. I'll put it in our chat. It's good radio.
But,
I'm talking about a picture.
This also gives you a reason to paint a battle tongue, right?
Okay, you're gonna have to go over to the Delaware Warmachine forums and go to the hobby stuff section to take a look at it. It's it's not that far up. It's a bright yellow guy, and Scuttlebutt has a legit butt. Like,
That's awesome.
and this guy painted a heart.
Oh my goodness!
Incredible.
I just found it. They gave him the tattoo with the heart, and oh man, that is. I would
It's
leave
so
it like
good,
that.
right? Yeah. So I'm
man.
excited to what pieces he comes in, so I can figure out how much work I have to do to make him look like I want. But I'll paint him. I think, and after that, I think I want to finish my trolls, which isn't that many more models. I think like 6 more troll models, and then a couple of warcasters, 2 beasts. That would really get me to a finished faction.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna push myself too hard to do it. If I don't feel like it, I'm not gonna. But that's kind of my plan right now.
Makes sense.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
If you're gonna, what are you gonna be playing and painting for Nova? That's what I was asking.
Well, I only play 2 Warcasters, Alec. I play Firequill and Bugatti Bomb. So, Lord knows, I hope they're good after this mid-year update.
But-
Well, I was hoping you were gonna play Shadow Tongue, honestly, because I sent you the that special one where you're gonna.
You did, and he's like number 3 in my heart, and like, I think he is the best Scuttlebutt caster. So,
right. That was the point I was trying to make is that I know you played him with Scuttlebutt, so if you're gonna be playing Scuttlebutt, you could be playing yourself some Shadow Tongue.
Not that I was
I
trying
think
to do.
I think Scuttlebutt does the most for Shadow Tongue, but Bugatti Bomb does the most for Scuttlebutt. If you pick up what I'm saying,
Scuttlebutt does the most for Shadow Tongue, but Bugatti Bomb does the most for Scuttlebutt. Interesting.
Yeah, like Bugatti Bomb makes Scuttlebutt cool, and Scuttlebutt makes Shadow Tongue cool.
And you can't leave home without Firequill, so we're stuck in a triangle, right?
I know. I just hope this mid-year update makes Firequill so trash that everyone else will stop playing him. That's my goal. That's what I want. I want to be. I love special snowflaking, and it's Andy told me that you're not really committed if if you jump off him when he's good, right? So I kind of agreed with that. But
I'll say this about OU is that while I'm not 100% a special snowcake kind of player, I definitely am I'm fine playing the same faction as somebody else, but I want to be playing different casters, or I want to be mainlining a different caster than the other guy in the community that's playing them. And there's a new guy that's picking up Old Umbry that Eric has brought in, and I did everything I could to try and convince him to play Winter Corp instead of, because he was looking at Winter Corp and he was looking at Old Umbry. And I did everything I possibly could to try and get him to pick up Winter Corp, because talking about how there's 3 or 4 layers of detail on top of each other on some of the models, and how some of the things that I'm sort of tweaking or removing from some of the models in the faction is the stuff I sort of try to talk to him about, how finicky some of the the smaller warrior models are and stuff like that. And he was like, I play Tau in 40k. I'm totally into doing those kind of things. And the more I tried to talk him out of playing Old Umbry, the more he was excited about it.
Yeah. Oh man. That's why it's great. You guys can play different casters, right? I'm sure he'll gravitate to different.
He wants to play Morozov, which is my mainline caster right now. So
I thought Bodan was your boy. And Morozov was the off list you were learning.
It's since Bokor, basically I've just been playing Morozov. And I've been thinking I'm gonna play Aslanov for the Journeyman League coming up, at least for the first 2, the 30 and 50 point, and then I might switch to Morozov. But I've got a Gorger to paint, and I really like him with Morozov. So, but if he's gonna end up playing Bodan, and because he's probably gonna start with Bodan and Morozov, those are the 2 casters that I'm playing. So where am I going? I really don't like Galena, and we should probably start talking about this update, because my choice of what I'm gonna my choice of what I'm gonna do is probably gonna get affected by what's coming up in this update. So, all right. So, how do we want to do this? Do we want to just sort of talk about the things that we're excited about? We want to talk about give a general overview of the kind of things that paint? How do we want to approach this?
Let's do overall impressions, and then I propose we take turns picking a faction or a topic.
Okay. So you want to do overall? Who wants to do the first overall impression?
Sure, I'll give my overall take on this. So, okay. I think, when they released the January update, and it was enormous, much bigger than we expected, my feeling was that it was probably going to need some tweaks, and that's not knocking on the playtesters or SFG at all, just it's hard. It's hard to get all this stuff right. So I'm not surprised that we're getting a mid-year update.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think it went better than I expected, to be totally transparent. And a lot of what this balance update is it's looking at things that are, I think it's more nerfs than buffs.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it's, taking the things that are unfun, a little bit too powerful, and I think it's mostly just little gentle taps. I don't think they've taken anything from, you know, great to terrible here. I think everything that gotten nerfed is probably still like pretty reasonable choice. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll find something in that. And then there are a small number of buffs to help some of the factions that are struggling. Um, so overall light touch and not a ton of changes, pretty limited in scope. And I think that's really smart. I played 40K for a couple of years, and the like quarterly balance upheavals were, I couldn't keep up with them, and I didn't even have a kid then. Like, it was just more than I could handle. So I love that we're not changing too much. I feel like this is an amount of changes that like I can handle. It doesn't make me feel like alienated from the game, so I love that.
So I have a point for you. You said some of the nerfs are not to affect it. I'm worried that the point costs that we're going to see for defenses is going to make it so people aren't going to be taking defenses, or very rarely. And I think that's because people are so tight with their points already with their lists. I don't think people are going to spend 2, 3, or up to 6 points even if they wanted like 3 barriers. No one's going to spend 6 points on defenses. They're not going to see it as worth it. And I feel like that's going to be a sad thing because I think defenses really did add something to the game. And now they're just going to kind of fall to the wayside. We're not going to see them as much. Especially, I'm sad because now we have each of the factions have their own specialized defenses that you could get through Mini War Factory, that you could print. And now I don't think we're going to be seeing those. So that's just like on the generalized aspect, that makes me a little bit sad. But
yeah, I agree with you. I think that all of my lists will have no defenses, at least initially. I think that's right. They probably did get hit pretty hard with the nerf hammer.
I mean, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I never played with them anyways. And so the fact that they cost points, yeah, I mean, I can see myself taking a 1-point thing if I'm a point down, or if in a specific list like Lena, like I definitely think I could see taking a wall. But for the most part, or Bodan maybe spending 2 points for a wall. I'm sort of in a spot right now, at least with the journeyman versions of some of my lists, where I'm sitting at 98 points and have a 2 points, so I could see possibly taking a wall with some of those lists. But for me, I mean, I'm not going to miss them because I haven't really been playing with them.
So I know for some of my lists, specifically like my infantry heavy lists, I needed barriers. I needed barriers to be able to get up there and hide behind so that I could then, basically survive the first set of shooting, which I know that they've nerfed shooting a little bit, but I needed barriers to be able to get up there. And now having to spend potentially 6 points on barriers or, 4 points on barriers is just not going to be worth it. So that's going to significantly affect like my Krios 2 list or the Temple Flame Guard list. And that's going to affect the survivability of those lists. So, I mean, that's whatever, but that makes me a little bit sad. But that's for the generalized. That's definitely one of the things that, and I used to take them a lot. I took them in almost every list.
Oh, that's a great point. I took them a good amount. I probably won't take them now. I don't know if I feel sad about it.
I mean, I'll figure out another way, but that's taking a tool out of my toolbox.
That's fair. Yeah, I always found them kind of frustrating because I put them in the wrong spot, or like there wasn't a good place to put them. I don't know. My stupid barriers would get used by my opponents. So
I feel like you either
I get really good at practicing them.
So and maybe this is just my opinion, but I feel like you basically either play with scatter terrain or you play with defenses, and like online play, you can't really play with scatter terrain that easily, so you tend to play with defenses. Where in person, there's almost always a lot of scatter terrain on the table, and so you don't really the defenses just sort of get in your way. I don't know. I could be completely wrong on that, but that's sort of one of the. So I play a lot in person, and almost every game I have at least 3 pieces of scatter terrain on the table. So maybe I just have gotten used to not playing with defenses because of that. And maybe that's
Well, I think about like at tournaments,
well,
not necessarily because I wouldn't take them in fun play, but or, I mean, I guess technically I would. I'd pay for the points for them. Like I'd pay for the the card
Yeah.
by taking the card, but I wouldn't necessarily put them out. But in tournaments, I would definitely have them out because, like I said, they would help me, survivability.
Yeah, that's the other thing I don't understand is I don't understand how people have room in their hand of command cards for defense because I never did.
I mean, you've seen
Oh,
your
'cause
cribs.
I never take Earth Fires out. I just YOLO that stuff.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah,
that's
I
my role.
No.
play Menoth. Who needs to put out the fires?
It works
I
for a
will
lot
say
more
I
than putting
think
out
they
the
were good
fires.
enough that
No, I know it
both
does.
of my lists had anti-defenses tech. I played Sapper in one list, and I played powder kegs in the other list, just so I never had to deal with them.
Yeah.
So maybe they were important to me.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I always took 80 and 120 millimeter base models. It took care of
Oh
it
yeah,
if
and
I
just
needed
killed
them.
them. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's the other way to do it, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's probably like for me, I never had to take the Pathfinder card because most of my stuff had Pathfinder. So I think depending on what your army had, you had the options. Like if you had a lot of breakthrough in your army, you didn't have to take the breakthrough card. So you could then take defenses and then, shore up what you needed to. Like I would always take Lucky Penny, Old Faithful, put out the fires and defenses. And then my fifth card was always depending on what the actual list was. But yeah, now that you have to pay points for defenses, yeah, those are all coming out of my lists. And it is what it is.
So let me ask a sort of to change directions. Ask a question. So as we've said, most of the stuff that we're going to see here are slight nerfs or debuffs to existing models. Mostly, not entirely, but mostly from from leader models, from warlocks and warcast. There are a couple of buffs, however. Do you think that enough stuff got buffed? Do you think that they missed out? There's some stuff that they missed out on buffing, or some things that didn't get touched. They're still going to be a problem. I think.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Tyrus is a good example. Is that he's sort of at least locally for me, he's emerged. We have two very active Dusk players right now, and he's sort of emerged as a problem that I don't know how to deal with. So, So, what do you think that there's stuff like that are still that they may need to touch again in the future, or do you think that there's just going to be some things that weren't quite A tier a problem and are now suddenly going to be the A tier thing, and we're just going to have to deal with them until January 2027.
So I think Cynthia Roscoe, Kane's daughter, is still going to need some love. I don't think she got enough of a boost that you're going to actually see her in tournament play. I think you still have, even with Kane getting, weakened a little bit, I think you're still going to see Kane. I think you're still going to see the other Gravediggers casters. And I don't think we're going to see Roscoe. I think she still needs some, some added things. So yeah, so there is some things that still need some love. But that's they're just trying to work through it.
I think the perspective is, or the position is like, let's make things better. Let's be really careful not to make them worse. And so yeah, there's not like wide-ranging buffs. I don't think this is gonna, fix a really struggling faction. I don't think it's like touched everything that could potentially be touched. But I'm like okay with that. I'd rather they continue to gather data and watch games and see how things evolve. I think small tweaks can have big consequences for war games, so I'm like pretty satisfied with the approach. I mean, it would be more fun if we got a bunch of buffs to the models that we thought were terrible, right? Like that's what happens in the new year, and I think that's really fun. But I don't think it's good if you actually care about like honing in on a really refined game.
Well, no, I think you could adjust, like they obviously adjusted some of her abilities. I think if you were to give her I think some of the casters actually need like a hard look at how they operate. Like for Signar, I think it's specifically for Gravediggers, I think it's going to be Cynthia. For Kador, for Old Umbry, Yana needs a look at, and I know Jay agrees with me on that, or at least I think you do, right?
I mean, they nerf her pretty hard in this update.
Well, I think she needs like a whole retooling because she can be used in both Old Umbry
Right.
and I think they really need to, not for this update, obviously, but for the yearly update. I really think they need to.
I'm definitely going to talk about her some when we start talking about specific specific sections things, but I think that I do agree that she needs to just become 2 super casters, but I think they did some stuff. I think they nerfed her too hard in some ways and buffed her a little too much in others, but yeah. Let's so I guess we can use this as a transition point and start talking about specific stuff or specific groups of army that we think is important or that interests us. And so I guess since Alec sort of hit it over to me with Yana, I guess I'll start talking about Umbry and a little bit about Winter Corps. And so Umbry got 2 changes. We saw changes to Yana, and changes to Bodan, both who were casters that have been overperforming in the last, the first 6 months of 2026 since the January update. And then Winter Corp got the most updates with a couple of slight, like one or two slight bumps down, and then a couple of bumps up, which is interesting. For Yana, they decided that her feat was too strong. The change they made in 2026, which is the free extra attack. Now they reverted a bit back to cleave, which I think is. I understand why they did it for Old Umbry, because she was really, that extra attack with Old Umbry was super powerful. But I feel like
Fury 5 Beasts, right?
Yeah. Fury. Yeah. Fury 5 Beasts is crazy, effectively. Bumping all your beasts as if they had another free to get the extra free attack is pretty strong. I think that Winter Corp struggles with guaranteeing a number of attacks, and so that the extra feat for Winter Corp would have been useful, and so if they'd split her into like a Yana 1 for Winter Corp and a Yana 2 for Old Umbry, and maybe just reverted her feat for Old Umbry, I think that would have been a better answer than what they decided to do. So they did add a new rule to her, which is called Imbued Wrath. It's Warjacks in this model's battle group can be allocated or gain up to 4 focus instead of 3. So they are providing you with the ability to get a 4th focus and therefore an extra attack, plus this cleave ability, which seems interesting, but you still have to have a way to provide it to her jacks, which is the imbalance that I think is a little weird. What do you guys think about that?
I agree with you. I really wish they would have split her into 2. I've watched her for a while. I watch other people, obviously, because I don't get to play as many games in person up here. But I watch a lot of online games of people playing on War Table.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand where people were frustrated with how well she was doing with Old Umbry. But I feel like she could have done so much better with Winter Corp. And I feel like they have significantly, like you said, decreased what she can do in Winter Corp. And I'm hoping, like I said earlier, I'm hoping they really split her into 2 separate cards and give her like the old witch 2/3 ability thing where maybe even some of her spells are different, her feat is different, and actually treat her as 2 different things. And I think that would be better for her.
Yeah, it's just clearly hard to balance a caster across 2 very different factions. It was kind of a cool idea for getting players interested in multiple factions, maybe. But yeah, really like from a game design perspective.
But I mean, if they had 2 separate cards, for example, like you had her in Old Umbry and you had her in Winter Corp. So someone buys, let's say, a Winter Corp faction, they play her, they like her, and then they buy Old Umbry because, still Khador, and they go over, eventually the player will look and be like, oh, actually, she plays slightly different. And I think that'd be okay. The same thing happened in Mark III Warmachine with Old Witch. People realized that she played differently Grimkin than she did in Khador. And I think people would appreciate that difference instead of her not necessarily, because I'm worried she's not going to really perform as much or as well. And I think instead of, weakening her overall,
I
you
mean,
could even her out between the two.
I really think that this update, you may see some people try her in Wintercorp, but she's basically out of the. You won't see her played in high level competitive play for the rest of her Old Umbry. I think she's just straight out of reverting her back to Cleve. She's just straight out of higher level competitive play. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think we're going to see her again.
I think they'll still see people play her, but
so?
we see. That's what makes them market. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot about her kit that's still really attractive. This is I think a pretty soft tweak to a caster who's only doing a little bit maybe better than they wanted. So Jave, what happened to Wintercore? You wanted to talk about Wintercore too.
So the other little quick thing is Bodan just got some side nerfs effectively. He kept all his main core stuff. He lost Inviolable Resolve and replaced it with another spell that only affects warrior models. And they nerfed Befuddle. And there's a new spell that has a slightly less movement, or it has a 2-inch place effect instead of a 3-inch movement. That's all they changed for him. For Wintercorp,
the armor buff is interesting.
So
I guess before people were putting it on the Gorger, and I could also imagine it being really good on Strix.
Yeah.
I guess it's good on Bodan himself if you're worried about him getting moved around.
I normally used it on
you can still get Earth's Blessing.
I normally used it on Chosen or a unit or Cavalry or
okay, yeah, I could see the
or the Lord of the Hunt in some cases to make him arm 20. I mean, this is so the I would be perfectly fine if they I would have no problem with it at all if they had decided to remove IR because they didn't like the side effect of them not being able to be pushed or knocked down. I understand that completely. That's a thing that the faction is able to do extremely well, along with the Bearhead. They're able to stop themselves from being hurt. I think it's called a herd panic, herded by push effects and knockdown effects and things like that. But by removing IR and replacing it a spell that only affects warrior models, they effectively removed all. The faction doesn't have any buffs, any armor buffs that can be applied to a war beast in the entire army. No, none of its 6 casters has an armor buff for a war beast any longer. And I think that's a mistake. They could have very easily used. Go ahead.
They all have the star, right?
Well, right, but I mean, right, but they could have easily done Iron Flesh, which would have been gives this +2 armor to a model unit and blast resistance. I mean, that's a existing Khador spell that they could have very easily done. And yes, I understand that Starved is a -2 is an armor, a damage tax effectively. It's effectively a +2 armor buff. But that means that you have to play with Starved at every list from now on if you are worried about armor skew in any way. And things like the Gorger, you're going to have to play with the head that gives you Indomitable if you want it to survive being charged by warrior models that are POW 15 or less. And I know this because in the last 2 or 3 games I've played with the Gorger, it's died to a bunch of warrior models with POW 15 or less purging it because it's arm 18 or arm 20 and can't be arm 22. And
you could just imagine though why they don't want it to be arm 24, right?
I mean,
no, I
think that's the thing, right? Is that it
how does it get to arm 24, Joe?
Well, it gets Indomitable and it gets Starved and it gets an armor buff, right? That's +6, gets you 24. Easy math. But in that that's expensive, right? It's not how I would play it, but it is like how Riker played it at Bokur, right? So,
Okay.
I think they're just trying to limit that play pattern.
I'm struggling to make him worth playing anymore, and I just bought it, and so like I almost feel like it's not worth even playing at all at the moment. But we're getting into the nitty gritty, and that's not really what we're trying to do. So talk about Winter Corps. So Winter Corps, they had a lot of Yana got changed. They had a little like Barnova got put up to 8 arc, and they put her back down to 7. Severin got a new restore spell that lets him upkeep spells on friendly warrior models, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's important. It's
you know,
so focused. I don't think it changes him that much, but it's so focused. Like,
so it effectively lets him camp, him focus to keep himself alive because he has to get so close to the enemy army to threaten them with like kill order and things like that. So it at least lets you camp more than one, which is sort of where he was at before.
Yeah, he's a good model, but he dies, right?
Right.
So it is addressing his like main thing.
Right. The change to Bill Cool is really bizarre.
Oh, Parker is stoked about this.
Really?
He is really interested about this. Yeah, man.
And I know
I would have lost that game at Bokur if she had reload 1.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe it's just the stuff that I don't see or haven't had an opportunity to use, but like I don't understand. And I know that we're not really like clarifying what this is. Basically, her alchemical mask got changed, and her axe
The
game
mask got changed so that she can cast Fog of War and not give concealment to enemy models from herself. Like,
right.
So it's addressing a bit of score energy for her. And then her axe got Weapon Master.
And
so 13
her
Weapon
throne axe got Weapon Master.
Yeah, her throne axe. Yeah, her other ones had it already.
Yeah.
And it's got reload 1. So she's got a play pattern. I mean, I don't know if you... It's a little bit... it's expensive, right? But she's got a play pattern now where she walks forward. She throws her axe twice. Maybe she boosts the damage. Maybe she doesn't, But about, POW 13 boosted Weapon Master is not a bad thing. And then she cyclones backwards. Walks back 7 inches, so she's 15 inches away. I mean, it's still kind of dangerous, but it's way more interesting than only being able to throw it once. So I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never really used it, so the fact that it's got changed and updated means that it's something that I probably will never use again.
Or maybe it'll be your new, linchpin in your victory, and you'll just use it.
That's not how Jay rolls. I don't think Bill goes for Jay. I don't know.
I've tried to play her, and I like the idea of her assassination run, but there's not really room for it in her assassination run. So I don't understand it. But
I think it's to give her something to do when she's not killing your caster. I think you're right. It doesn't help her assassination at all.
Right, but like at the same time, I think the range of her axe is like 8 inches. If I'm not mistaken. Looking it up.
So you got to be careful. It's dangerous, right? You get to walk back 7 afterwards, but still, 15 inches is not that far on a Warmachine anymore.
Well, but here's the thing, though. Exactly. Like you said, that extra attack that might be and gaining Weapon Master on it. That sometimes that's the difference between killing, like assassinating someone and not. Like it's just an added thing you can do. I prefer like, hey, let me spend a focus and reload and throw the axe a second time, especially with gaining the Weapon Master on it. Like let's have fun. Give me potentially 3 more damage and let me throw it again.
Sure. I don't know. I don't. I'm sure it'll be very impactful for those people that play with her off. I don't see if I was playing with her getting her close enough to be able to use it on any kind of regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, if you were gonna play her before, it probably doesn't put her on the table for you, right? Like,
right.
A nice quality of life for people who do like her.
Oh, okay. The thing that I'm most interested in that changed is Sergeant Lazarenko, the Jackal. He got an armor buff. He went from 14 to 16, which is nice. And he gained Ambush and Unstoppable, which is but lost Repo 3, and his gun went down to range 12 to range 10. I understand why they did the range thing. I don't know if they needed to cut Repo 3 from him.
He would have been so good with Repo 3. I was sad when I saw they cut him.
Yeah. I mean, he's still
I
everything.
think they gave him such a boost. I think they couldn't give him everything. They had to be like, all right, we're giving you all this stuff. Let's take away one thing so you're not super broken. So they cut Repo 3.
I don't know.
Like, I get it.
I mean, he
would have been so annoying. He comes off the board at some random spot. He shoots you. He repos behind some bush at the very edge of the table. Like,
I know. That's why. Yeah.
It also makes him
Especially if he
incredible
was-
for contesting, right? Because he gets on the board, he walks 6, he repos 3. He's really deep in. Repo is really good on him.
I guess. I don't know. I'm. He wasn't a model I played with very much. I understand that there are
And that's
people
fair.
that play with him. And I think maybe he's a 4-point model, and I don't know if there's really room. Like, I understand that people play with him. Well, he's the only ambusher now for Winter Corp. I'm not sure if ambushing him by himself is a great tactic for Winter Corp. I think they really needed something that had a little more teeth that would be able to contest a little bit better, because he's not ambushing
But
into
didn't he get
something
an
and being
armor
able to
bonus?
kill a unit. I mean, yeah, he went from 14 to 16. He went from 14 to 16. But he's not surviving a turn if he goes and contests a flag or contests an objective. He's going in, walking over, and then immediately dying.
I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
that's the difference between winning the
I
game.
think that's what most of the ambush units do, is they walk in and die. It's kind of sad, right? Because he's like this cool hero, and his like role on the table is like probably to come in from a board edge, walk forward, and die on a point. But
I mean, that's I guess
at
that's
least it only costs 4 points.
right. I mean, I guess that's effectively not a lot of people are playing with them anyways, and so there's better, cheaper options most of the time, and so there's a reason to take him now, even though you're basically just stopping your opponent from scoring a point. Most of the time, you're just going to be stopping your opponent from scoring a point, for one turn, which could matter in the long run in some of the missions.
I mean, that's why people play boarding party, right? They're 5 points.
Yeah.
They walk on and make your opponent's life hard on an objective. That's
Right.
why I played Blood Runner.
I mean, but
he's not as survivable, I think, as a unit of boarding party.
right,
It's
exactly.
better than Blood Runners.
Yeah. Boarding party takes 3, 4, or 5 attacks to take off the table.
Yeah.
He takes 1, maybe 2. I mean, yes, he's defense 14, and so you'll have to put something into him, or do a combined shot into him. But at defense 14, arm 16, and 8 wounds, he's not really sticking around.
No, but I'm saying that you have to remember that people, if you don't take him, then people aren't going to have to worry about ambush. If you take him and you spend the 4 points, then people are going to have to be like, when is he coming in? Even if you don't bring him in until turn 6, or heck, you'd never bring him in, your opponent still has to make sure that
you want to not do that because they get points from him not coming in on the table.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like Alec's point though, that there is like some psychology to these models coming off the edge. Like, I don't ambush my frogs very much anymore, but I used to, and people would always like really, it'd really force them to play really narrow, which was to their detriment. And I mean, this guy's got a better gun than most ambushers, right? Rat 7, range 10, AoE 2, brutal damage, POW 14. It's like a good gun. Like, it actually is probably worth respecting off the board edge. So yeah, maybe maybe his presence will put pressure on some people.
Yeah, I don't know,
but I wish he had repo. That's all I can say.
All right, So what's stuff that Alec has talked about Gravediggers a little bit.
Kane.
And so Joe, what's something that you're looking at?
Or Alec, did you want to finish Signar? Did you want to go over Gravediggers?
I know I gave so there was just the only two things really adjusted for Gravediggers. For Storm Legion, again, they adjusted Kane. He lost Mage Sight. He gained Arcane Sight. So they were just trying to adjust how he's going to deal with clouds and stuff like that. They boosted the Warjacks a little bit, which was, I think, kind of cool. So they made them so people are more likely to bring some of the
Storm Legion ones, right? Not the Gravediggers ones.
Yes, I'm sorry, the Storm Legion ones. Yes.
Yep.
So they boosted the defense on both of them, as well as they boosted, I believe, the weapon. Yep.
This is the Striker and the Courser, by the way, not the.
So the Striker Warjack went from, with his Volcanic Halberd, went from 17 to 18. His Volcanic Hammer went from 18 to 19. So that's gonna see, and without a point increase. So he just got straight better damage as well as better survivability. So I think that's going to help the Striker Warjack. And then for the Courser, he picked up again the 1 defense. So he went from 13 to 14. Now the dodge head did pick up a point cost, but as well as the Storm Thrower picked up a point cost. But the Broadsword picked up a POW without picking up a point cost. And the Voltaic Spear picked up a POW without picking up a point cost.
Well,
so I think that.
So the Storm Thrower went down a point.
Oh, did it go down a point?
Yeah, it went from 3 to 2.
Is that the spray?
Okay.
Yes. So it's a defense 14, 1 point cheaper spray machine.
I mean, seems good. Yeah. That spray was pretty good in times past. And
yep, I agree.
Defense 14 is a nice place to be.
I agree.
In terms of survivability on a Jack.
Yep.
And I can't believe the Signar Jacks were 12-18. That's a horrible stat line for a heavy. 13-18 is much more acceptable. So, yeah, I think it's well earned. I think that Kane might actually. I think this is like described as a nerf, but in some ways, I think this like change to Kane may actually be a buff.
Oh, his losing Mage Sight and then gaining Arcane Sight.
I mean, pretty much everyone I know only plays him with Deuce, and Deuce already has True Sight, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, it's a change to him. They removed the ability from him. And now he has to cast a spell to get it. At least that's the way I understood it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he always had to pay 1 to upkeep Mage Sight anyway, right? So now it's not an upkeep, so he doesn't have to worry about upkeeping it. He can just cast it when he wants it. Costs the same amount. And he can have, like, Blur on himself if he wants to, and have this active. I don't know. I'm not convinced this is a real big negative for him.
I didn't say it was a huge negative. It's just a minor, like, I'm still going to play with him. I can't wait to get the mini crate version of him and paint it up. I'm super excited about it. But like, I don't play a army because of its rules. I play it because.
So here's the difference between Mage Sight and Arcane Sight. Arcane Sight affects him and only him. Mage Sight affects his battle group.
Oh yeah, no, I know that.
Okay.
But I don't think he actually plays a battle group. I think he just plays Deuce.
Really?
Like, so yeah.
I've seen him with the Voltaic Jack, the Borealis. I've seen him with the Borealis one.
Yeah, so when I've played him, I normally take him with Beaker, Borealis, and Deuce.
Okay.
So Mage Sight is going to affect me. But that's
Mage Sight affects that a lot.
Right.
But when I think about like the tournament winning Kane lists I've seen, they're just Deuce. So.
Oh yeah, no, I just think
if anything, they're going to kind of force you to lean more heavily into a playstyle of just Deuce. So. Yeah, I don't know. This is the one change that kind of perplexes me a little bit.
I mean, I have been painting Cynthia Roscoe, so I might end up just having her and Kane and doing the having the father-daughter, even though it's a
Father-daughter? Oh, that's
parried.
pretty fun.
Like it'll be the horrible parried, but it'll be just fun.
I hope people start playing her. I don't know if she's exciting enough to make a cut, but I hope she does.
I don't think she is. Like that's what I was saying. I think she needs some. I think she needs a retooling. I don't think they know. I'm not going to say like they know, but I don't think she has a definite place right now in Gravediggers. She doesn't fit a specific system. Like she's not gonna help the gun mages go forward. She's not gonna necessarily help the jacks all go forward. She's not gonna necessarily, help the actual gravediggers themselves, like the machine gunners or that.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, she's a battle group caster, right? She focuses on her battle group, and so I think that she isn't a generalist for your army, and I think your army shines with the generalist or with the infantry, and so that's why you're not seeing as much from her. Because she's designed to allow you to play a different play style, and it just doesn't match with what people are playing and what you want to be playing in. Probably.
I mean, I would like my Kane list to work for her, the one with Beaker, Borealis, and Deuce, but I've tried it before and it hasn't. Maybe we'll see if it works with the her new changes. I'll try it. But it is what it is. Like I've been testing out tables on or games on Wartable. And I've been testing out like Signar, I've been testing about Temple Flame Guard, and I've been testing out Exemplary Direction. So we'll see.
All right, Joe. You want to bring us home?
Oh, I should do Brian's, right?
Wait,
so
you play Brian's? Are you
I
sure?
know I've been playing Brian's. It's shameful. Yeah, I'll do all the Southern Creels. So I mean, I think Firequill's probably one of the best leaders in the game, so not surprised to see him on the list. Definitely a real menace. He got two changes. So one is his feat changed. So it's it used to give his all friendly models in his controller, friendly faction models in his controller a true sight, and now that's only battle group. He also lost Black Penny as a field marshal, and his new field marshal is called Runic Ammunition, which means once per activation, after resolving a ranged attack in which you destroy an enemy model, you can cast your Animus without being forced. I think these are both fine. I feel like he's absolutely going to be playable after this. That doesn't really change my plans to play him. The Colossal has Eyeless Sight naturally, so True Sight doesn't matter for it very much. The army will have a more defined weakness in terms of stealth. Like, as an OU player, Galena is probably going to be a much better answer to Firequill. But, I mean, the cloud part of it, you can just take a blimp. So I think if you aren't playing a blimp with Firequill, putting a blimp in your list is like probably a thing to think about. The battle brig is going to be good. It lets you ignore clouds. I almost think they should have just cut the field marshal and left it at that. I'm not too excited about this new field marshal. The best use case for it is like, if you kill something with a ranged attack with the Abyssal King, you can put up, his Animus. But for something like the Reef Troll, I don't see benefiting from this at all.
Mm-hmm.
Probably pretty darn niche for when the Deepborn benefits from it too. So I guess Scuttlebutt could benefit from it a little bit, maybe. I mean, I think it's fine that it's not very strong, but I think they could have even gone further and just cut it entirely.
What is Scuttlebutt's
It's called Scuttler. It gives you Swift Hunter, and that's kind of cool. You kill a first model, and you can have Swift Hunter for your next two attacks. So that's not the worst. And it also lets models like walk under you. Like your friendly warriors, I think, can move through you as long as they don't end underneath you.
So yeah, so I guess this could, well, but you might have already cast this already before you even.
Well, you'd sort of like it before the before you usually want a Swift Hunter off your first shot, not your second, but it's
Yeah.
not worst, it saves you a little bit of fury. You often want to cast the Animus with the Colossal, so it saves you fury there. It is a little weird, though. Let's see, the Lakabash brothers lost a point of defense and armor. I like it because now thematically they have the same base stats as the other trolls, 12, 13.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. Those guys are way hard to kill. I think they're still really good. They're probably still too hard to kill.
I
What?
feel like they should have. I have a hot take. Are
Mm.
you ready for it?
Go for
I
it.
feel like they should have gone up to armor 15. And I feel
Love
like
it.
they should have gone up to defense 14.
Love that.
No.
Love it. Double down, right? Not enough players were playing Southern Creoles, and so we're just really making the Lakabash Bros overtuned. They're so funny. They're so tough, but they don't even one of the guys isn't even wearing a shirt.
I just like the
that.
look of the models, and I want them to be on the table more. And that's the
Oh, man.
only reason.
So
No, they
I
are.
like-
They're in
They're in
every list.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I know, but I like the look of them. Like I like the the old, like the red coats, marine style thing. Like I think it looks cool. It makes me smile every time I see them. And that's why I was like, I want them to be on the table more. And I also like that, they just make me smile. So that's the only reason.
I think if you see Southern Creoles, they're in the list. So hard for them to be on the table more.
No. I mean, physically on the table longer. I know that everyone takes them.
I mean, they're physically on the table for a pretty long time there. Yeah.
I feel like I've seen people, when I've been watching, people specifically aim to take them out, and I want people to fail that. Because maybe it's just because I'm observing, watching people do this, and I've not been having to experience playing that much into Brian Bloods. But I'm like, man, I feel like people are just being very aggressive to the Lakabash brothers. And I was like, that's just so mean. I feel like they need armor 15, maybe 16, and defense 14.
I feel like they used to, but lately people just treat them like they're invulnerable and don't even bother. It's like, yeah, it's going to be harder to kill than the Colossal. I'm not even going to attack it. Like, okay, the other Southern Creoles changed were the Kithgard, their trapdoors changed. You can remove them with powder kegs. I think the thing that has changed for them is that if they are contacted by a Colossal or Gargantuan model, they're removed from the table. There is, some ways, so you can't use them to block huge base. Well, Colossals or Gargantuan specifically, which is the thing that people were worried about.
Double Judicators just plow through.
Yep, just plow through. Step on those traps and get going. Jay, we're back to you. What do you want to talk about?
I guess I could talk about Grimkin.
Yeah.
So Grimkin had 2 changes. Old Witch 3 got her arcane calibration, arcane machinery cut. And Slaughterhouse, who was, I think we can all agree, is pretty heavily overtuned with Fury 5 and a pull effect that could pull you back through friendly and enemy models, was pretty strong. And so they've reduced the Fury from 5 to 4, and made the pull into like a normal pull where it can go through
this thing is only 26
points.
points.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I've never killed one. And since the January update, I've played into a Slaughterhouse like maybe 5 times. I've had Bodan pop insight on it and have my entire army attack it and not kill it. So, because it can be armor 22 very easily. So
I played against Grimkin 4 days ago with my Resnick list, and I had to play against double houses.
Yeah.
They were no joke. I took out the first wood pretty easy. The second wood was because I tried to keep him out.
You have Weapon Master, so that helps.
I do, yeah.
That helps.
Well, also, I used Judicators to do it.
Well,
but I almost was able to take out 2 of them in a single turn. But I was like, man, there are definitely some things I can do that to, and I was like, man, these things are pretty powerful. This is impressive. Way more than what it used to be, which was,
I mean, they're still base armor 20. They still have a super long pull effect, still range 12.
I think you'll still see him played. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
It still has a 1 power 21 and 2 power 19s, which is super strong. And it has undergrowth.
Especially because they have rage, right?
Yeah.
So
right. And they have undergrowth, so I mean if they need to dock your defense after pulling you in, they can do that. I mean, it has a lot of options. It has a lot of power. So I think
they're good.
Yeah.
I like how they changed Into the Light. I think it's cool that it's not a normal drag. I think that's neat. But it used to be that you couldn't block it with anything. Now you can block it with your own models, which at least gives everyone some source of counterplay, right? Makes shield guards a lot better into it, for example. So it's still going to be really good. You can't hide from it from terrain, and that's terrain is a weakness of Colossals, so I think it's still quite strong. But I like that they kept some of that flavor without keeping it quite as overtuned as it was.
Yes, I agree.
I think the other change that was made, the Old Witch change, where they're removing so she has for those that don't know, she has a thing called Arcane Machinery. It is she can pick at the beginning of her turn. Right now, it's pick 1 of 3 abilities. After they remove this, the Arcane Calibrations will be 1 of 2 abilities. So they pick 1 of the 2 abilities to use during her activation. And the Arcane Calibrations that they're just removing is reduce the cost of her spells by 1 to a minimum of 1. And she's a 7 Arccaster, and so they're effectively, and she has 2 costs, 2 3 costs, and a 4 cost. So they're basically limiting what you can do spell-wise during your activation.
It seems like a pretty impactful change.
And
I've never played against it. What do you think, Jay? Is it meaningful?
I haven't seen her. I know she was in a lot of people's pairs at Bokur. I didn't play into her at all, though, and I haven't played into her at all since the update. She used to have 5 of these arcane things that she could do, and back when she had a feat, but she doesn't have anymore. The feat used to be that you would basically play all 5 of them in one turn. And so, I think that and the reduce the cost was one of them. So, she has 2. So currently she has 5 spells. She has 2 costs, a 4 cost, which is Scourge, which is the on a direct hit models hit become knocked down, and then her other 2 upkeeps. One of them's Curse of Shadows, and one of them's Reconstruct. And so, she's going to be upkeeping Reconstruct all the time, pretty much, and she's gonna by removing that spell, it basically means that she can't cast Boundless Charge on her whole army, on all the beasts in her army, effectively. This Boundless Charge is one of her 2 costs. And so I think that that's a good change. But it also means that Scourge is going to cost more than half of her Fury if she does cast it. And it's going to, because it costs 4, so other things aren't going to get cast for her. And she probably is going to already be upkeeping 1. So I don't know. I don't know how
it's probably not going to do that very much, right?
Right. Exactly.
Well, so I think people were already using was it Baron Tunglick to cast boundless charge from her onto the other beasts. But I think we really are going to see less Curse of Shadows. We're going to see less Scourge because of this. And I don't know how well that's going to work, because she is going to have to keep up Reconstruct, like you said.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of sad, because like you said, she had more of these abilities and they keep taking them away from her. And it just feels like she's just kind of getting a little bit less.
Yeah. So the two abilities she has left, he basically has one that lets you reroll failed attack rolls for models in our battle group, which is the one you probably see most often, and the other one is basically return D3 friendly faction grunt models to a unit in play. And so I guess you might see the return occasionally, but for the most part you're just gonna be she's basically just gonna be giving her battle group reroll, which is still strong. But I agree, you're probably not gonna see Scourge cast that often, and if it is, it's gonna be for like an assassination run or a super important.
Yeah, it's because it's game ending, right?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, the difference between casting Scourge for 4 points and casting Scourge for 3 is significant.
I do believe that one of the listed reasons that they're doing this change is to affect Boundless Charge, because at being able to cast Boundless Charge at one point and being able to cast it on like 4 models seems pretty strong.
Oh man, yeah, that's dirty. Yeah, that's really good.
+2 speed and
okay. Yeah, see, I can see that being abusive. I was like, full rerolls. I mean, rerolls on my battle group seems pretty darn strong. What's this thing? But yeah, four or five castings of Boundless Charge, no issues, seems quite good too.
Exactly. Right.
That's a great point.
I don't know. So that's sort of what I was. I mean, Grimkin seems interesting to me still. It's definitely something that I'm gonna want to check out at some point this year. But right now, I think I'm leaning more towards trying to make Old Umbry work for me, because that's the army that's I have and need to get painted. All right. So, is there anything else that you guys are excited about from this, or think that the change is kind of weird, or?
I agree with the change for Infernals. I think cutting Sacred Ward, Field Marshal on Agathon, I think it was a good idea. I know it's not going to make our infernal listers happy with me, but I feel like that was needed. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, Infernal's just in such a weird place. The people who play it tend to be really good players, so it's hard to judge the balance. I don't know. Last year it was all Zadaroth all the time. Now it's all Agathon all the time. Like,
and
I don't know.
I mean, they added a new caster, and he's really just not great. Yes, he lets you bring in other.
It looks good on paper to me, but you're right. Like, I don't think people are playing. I don't see him played nearly as much.
Right.
I mean, sometimes they might.
Let me look at what he's doing on Longshanks.
But it's just not working with what people want to play the army, and sometimes that's just what it is. Until someone goes and wins with it and shows people how to do it. Sometimes it'll just sit on the shelf and gather dust.
Yeah, he's the second most played Warcaster, like 66 games in like the last 3 months. But
Agathon?
We're talking about it for Goroth. Yeah,
and what's his win rate?
41%. He's the bottom of the barrel. I don't understand. He seems so good. I don't know what's going on there. So I leave it to wiser minds to talk about that. I feel compelled to do Chimera and Orgoth so he can be nearly complete.
If you want, how about you do? I'll do Chimera if you want to do Orgoth. So sure. Chimera, just a few minor changes. So they just tweaked Lilith just a little bit because, let's be honest, she was pretty powerful. I've played against her several different times, both online and in person. They cut Warping Winds, and then they adjusted.
A huge change. It's a 5 point.
Yeah, I think it's probably the biggest.
That's like the biggest change of her by cutting.
I know. I was trying to. Like, I figured
trying to keep people's spirits up.
Yeah, I feel like they're not gonna play her, or they're gonna be like, oh wait, like it's kind of like when Haley 2 got nerfed, and people were like, oh, the world is ending, but she was still good. I feel like the same thing. Lilith,
and then it happened again, and it was still good.
Yeah, like she's still good, but people are gonna be like, oh, they cut Warping Winds, and it's like she's still good.
I mean,
like and then they affected full draw for her bow from range 12 to range 10. I think she's still good. I think she's still gonna help people.
She still has blind. You can still cast blind on a stick and blind a whole bunch of your opponent's arm very easily.
Yep. And
Yeah,
then
I
the other
think
thing
she's
they
still
did
good
is
too. I think people will be more targeted in how they play her, though, right?
Right.
Like,
yes,
I think she does have a more like pronounced weakness to ranged attacks, and so, if you can threaten her from range, I think
Or
either they're going to spend points
or
on that
she- she's
tech
gonna-
and
yeah,
keep
yeah.
like a smaller list, or they're going to have to kind of dodge some range matchups. So
or-
I think it is going to be impactful.
take that
And-
5-point tax and take the
Yeah, the
and take the Paragon. Yeah.
and then the other thing was they just I think because the Incarnate Knights were doing so well, they adjusted them from 19 armor to 18 armor, which
I mean,
I don't think is
I don't
too
think that
bad for them.
I don't think they're necessarily doing like they're not a very hard hitting unit. They're not a very but they're great at controlling objectives and they're great at like surviving attack.
Well,
Which-
that's meant for doing well. Like
Yeah.
trying to take them off, you have to dedicate more points than they are worth to remove them from the board. And so now it's going to be you don't have to dedicate as much.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll see. This is
fight
all
the
theory.
Wonkabash brothers in terms of survivability, but yeah, they're really tough.
See, that's why the Bagabush brothers, they just need that much more. I just want to see them on
Love
the
it.
table.
The Bagabash brothers.
The Bagabush. I can't even say it.
So we call them that's the Boggity Bombs Bagabrash brothers.
All right.
Yeah.
And Joe, you talk to us about Orgoth, buddy.
Sure, I'll do Orgoth, and I don't know. Somebody wants to do. Do we even want to do Crix? We could do Crix if we want to. Anyhow,
Ooh.
Orgoth is I think a faction that's like done pretty darn well over the last couple months. I don't think they're like crazy, but I think that they're in a pretty good spot. Sabreth lost a spell. She had 15 spells on her list. I should look up the actual number. It's a lot. She had maybe 8 spells.
7.
And she
It was
has to
7.
cast them all with her feet.
Yeah.
Not sure it's not 8. So she lost Inviolable Resolve, which is a pretty useful like scenario type spell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So
7.
now she's down to 6 spells.
Yeah.
I think people will absolutely play her. I don't know how Inviolable Resolve is used as part of her game plan, so I don't know if it's like a big linchpin, but I kind of feel like it's probably not. Kishtar lost Fire Group, so she shoots a little bit less far with her jacks, and she builds one of the most like oppressive gun lines in the game in the sense that it shoots really far. It ignores concealment, it ignores cover, it ignores like stealth, it ignores magic-based bonuses to armor and defense. It has blessed. So she builds a really it's a really hard gunline to interact with, so at least it's getting a little bit closer range. Her pistol got upgraded in range to help her still, do her thing. It's quite a good pistol. It has Warpath on it, and it's not limited to just like one move per turn. Like as many things as Kishtar kills, you can do 3-inch moves for your models. It's like potentially really busted. She has ricochet, so she can shoot, I think. So you have two shots and 2 chances per shot, so she can move a jack a long ways. But yeah, she's interesting. She's not actually particularly good, but she is really oppressive. Like, so I think that's kind of why she's getting the tweak. Anybody want to do Crix?
I'll do Crix. So Crix basically has 2. They have really 3 changes, but it's really 2. The first one is that the elite cadre Mechanothal swarm that Necrosurgeon Suspira had that gave them combo strike is just been taken off of her and put on the unit, which I think is a good thing. It means that they're able to have the combo strike attack with any of the casters, and I think that's just a good tweak for the Mechanothal swarms to make them a little bit more powerful and hit a little bit harder, especially into armor SKU lists, so that you didn't have to rely on just Tespera to make them a decent choice. The other change is a very small one, but it's in some ways it could be a very big one. So it's more on Mortnembra Perfected. So Mortnembra 4. She her feat has always been she could return destroyed a large base or smaller cohort model in her battle group to play, put it within 3 inches of her. Now, the current version that we're playing now, it would have to sacrifice its combat. It could move, but it would have to sacrifice its combat action the turn it came back. Now, with this update, you can choose what you forfeit. You can forfeit movement or action. And so, what this lets you do is it effectively lets you have more play a little bit more aggressively with Mortembra, have her like charge something or move up, feat, place a destroyed warjack back into play, empower it, and then have it actually affect the battlefield instead of just being like having to wait a turn or using it to contest or score an objective or something like that. It actually can affect the battlefield and make attacks, which I think is a good thing. What do you guys?
I think so. I think it's going to allow her to possibly get to open up for the assassination, because she could get in there, she could bring it back, she can empower it, and then by it forfeiting its normal movement because of her putting it in position where it needs to be, now it can do its actions and just go to town.
Yeah, it gives her like a weirdly good assassination. Like, does mobility affect her? I think it does. Yeah. So the mobility makes her speed 8, so she charges 11 inches. And she can put that jack within 3 inches of her.
Right.
And if that jack is Grendel, it has another 2 inches of reach. Or it could be a drag jack,
Yeah. And she has synergy, so it could be the end of a +3 synergy chain.
Yeah, it could be the end of a synergy chain, absolutely, right? So, I mean, how good is that? I don't know, but it's like totally interesting. It's something your opponent has to think about, is that you've got this weird Mortnebra all in once you kill a good jack of theirs. The drag on it's probably particularly annoying, right? Like a drag jack just shows up somewhere you haven't like planned for, and it shoots you and drags you in, and something else kills you. It's also just like really good from a piece trading perspective, right? You have a heavy, it's like sitting in a zone or whatever. Your opponent comes in and kills it with another heavy, and then you just like bring it right back. You don't even have to expose Mortnebra, right?
Right.
If you're, if they've charged into you, you're already pretty far back.
It does have to
put the jack right back where it was and kill the thing.
No, it has to be within 3 inches.
You do have to place it back within 3 inches.
Yeah. So I mean, you got to get the position. You'll have to be forward, but you don't necessarily have to be like charging forward to do it. I mean, if you're aggressive enough with her, she could even feat and then walk backwards, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it means people were playing, or I think it's kind of cool though. Definitely a good tweak for her.
I know I said boo to the critics, but like I think it's a good play. I think it's going to work well for them.
Those guys are sad. No, they need hope.
I still don't think that these two changes address enough of like the disparity and that how they interact with the SR 2026 packet that well.
Yep, I agree.
But I mean, it gives them something, and it gives them those people that are choosing to stick with them. It gives them some hope that maybe that when 2027 comes around, we'll actually some more advanced.
Yeah, hopefully the nerfs to some of the ranged game helps them too.
Right.
Like, I think that's the other hope. I think, Winter Core and Crix are probably in my book, at least, two of the mopier factions right now. And
agree.
We're not sure if this like revolutionizes things for them, but hopefully it helps turn the tide a little bit.
Hey, do we want to talk about anything we've seen recently published in the conventions?
What are you talking about?
Okay. I'm talking about that we saw Malchius's return for new Menoth.
I am so just like, oh.
I love that. Like, I know Alec is hinting at something. Like, I know he's trying to give me some breadcrumb, but I have no idea what it was. That's great. We did see Malchius, didn't we? Malchus?
How does it
make
sense?
Malchus is back, baby.
How does it make sense?
I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know. No one tells me.
Do you like the model?
Yes. And I'm excited about a potential Eye of Truth 2 character jack, maybe a 80 millimeter.
Maybe it's just the picture, but I just don't. I don't like it, man.
I like Fat Santa, and
I mean, I love the original, the first model. I love the first model. The second, just the pose is weird. It's like he's like his flamethrower is too heavy for him and it's dragging on the ground. Looks like to me.
He's older, man. It's been like 25 years. Okay, I get it. He was fat.
He just can't do those poses anymore, right? His body
Yeah.
hurts, you know.
Here's the thing. I understand. I empathize with this man. I feel like they needed to give him a bipod with wheels on it. Oh my goodness. I could do that. I can mod that, put like No, I'm excited about that. And I like some of the new stuff we've seen up for Menoth stuff. And you know me, I'm gonna keep
I am glad you were excited, Alec. I love that you are as excited as you were. I think it's fantastic.
I mean, think about it.
They have not grabbed me yet.
For 20 years.
They have not grabbed me yet, but I'm hoping they will at some point.
As I tell my wife, I have been dedicated to Protectorate of Menoth more than our marriage, the length of our marriage. I could see that.
Was that good?
Yeah,
you regretted it all, or is that
here's the thing. I may have said that at the marriage conference, and the chaplain was definitely in shock.
Yeah, because it's like also a heresy, right? Like,
and I was like, well, first off, I played this game longer than I've known you, and I've been dedicated to this fake religion longer than I know you. And, spent probably more time thinking about this game than I know you. But I still love you, but I also love this game. I just need that to be clipped and said to her, and she's like, oh, really? I'm kidding. No, I mean, no, but yeah, like, when I say, like, I've been playing this game for longer than I've been married, for more than half my life now. Just barely, but yeah. Actually, maybe it's not been half my life, but close. But yeah, like I'm super excited, man. I am so excited. I just want to get my hands on those pieces and start painting. Like 100%. I just need to
I'm still waiting for something, man. There's got to be something that's gonna like knock my socks off and make me excited. But I haven't seen it yet, man.
And I'm ready.
I haven't seen it yet, and it really is unfortunate. And the guy that sculpted the light jack that we've seen, the guy that the jack looks exactly like the Revenger, he posted the renders of it on his Instagram, and it looks like a Revenger. It is like front, back, sideways. It's a Revenger.
I like it, and I am here for it.
I know,
and I'm gonna own all of them.
And I think it's great. I think it's great that you're excited. I'm sure there are lots of other hardcore dedicated Menoth players like Andy that are super excited for them. I just can't get behind it, man. I've seen it before. I need something new, and they need to throw. I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure there's something super exciting, a really cool 80 mil, or a new unit, or a caster of some kind, or something that's gonna blow me away. But at the moment, I'm not there, and it really is annoying because Menoth is effectively my second love for Warmachine.
I don't know, man. I'm excited. I'm currently printing the spear on my printers. Mm-hmm. I'm printing it at 0.08 layer lines to make it look amazing. Yep. So I have the 4 printers going full out, and it's on 3 plates. And each plate is going to take a little bit over a day to print. And then after that's finished, I'm going to assemble it, and then I'm going to start on the shield, and then the rest of the armor, like the shoulder, like the
when am I getting
shoulder
my helmet?
piece, the chest. After I get the full armor set printed, and then I'll print you your helmet.
All right.
It also depends on, I'm probably either this week or next week, I'm going to order the 5th printer, and then I'm going to talk to the wife about potentially ordering a few more past that. I'm trying so I'm going to whisper this. I'm trying to convince her to let us be an 8 printer household instead of just a 5 printer household. I think an 8 printer household, potentially 16 printers, is where we should be. Because we are printing.
I like it because you're working up the Fibonacci sequence, right? So 5, 8. But I think that 16 is just unacceptable. You should do 13 and then 21. That's all I had to say about it. That's my advice.
Here's the thing. I actually thought about making that joke to her, but I think she actually might be really upset because when I was like, hey, I was like, hey, I'd like to, I was able to do this. I did this commission work because I did for some of the 3D prints. I did the like Patreon level for doing so I could what's it called, the merchant level, so I could print for people. So I was like, so I could start making some money. And I was like, look, that'll be able to, after these 2 commissions, I'll be able to buy the next printer. And she's like, okay, so I think 5 is good. And I was like, I think 8. And she's like, what? And I was like, I think 8. I think 8 is a solid, good number. 2 for the family, 6 for me. It'll work out well. And I was like, it's a good side hustle, all those things. Could print some armor, print more Warmachine armies, print more terrain. And then I was like, I was gonna make the joke about, then we go 13, and she was just like, yeah, I don't think she was in the mood for the joke, especially after, I've made some jokes about, Warmachine being my second love, possibly my first love. I mean, I told you guys about the joke at the marriage retreat, where the chaplain said that this was the first time she's ever heard about someone's podcast being like the other woman. And I was like, well, yeah, it's like 2 other podcasts. I was like, that's pretty awesome. High five. And like the chaplain did not high five me. But the dude at the table next to me was like, yeah, pretty awesome. They said that I should not be encouraged. I was like, you should talk to my co-host. They encourage me all the time.
All right, we've jumped the shark. We'll do the Alex like Luke marriage counseling podcast hour another time. It's bedtime for me.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think we've chatted through this and had a lot of discussion on various things, both relating to and not to our conversation today. I think we've rambled a good bit. I guess thank you for joining us. You can find all of our social media links at the link below in the show notes. Is there anything else you guys want to mention before we head out?
I can't think of any. I guess look us up on Instagram and Facebook, and and chat with us on Discord. We're all here for all of y'all.
All right.
Did I plug Alec's YouTube channel for him, or?
Oh, wait, dude, I forgot about that. Yeah, I have a second YouTube channel. It's called Let's Get You Painted. We are currently on episode 17, and actually Joe is coming on. He's coming on to record, but that's going to be later on for when everybody's hearing this. Super excited about Joe coming on. We're going to chat, and we're going to talk it earlier in the day, so he's going to be wide awake and refreshed. So you guys are going to hear early morning Joe.
Yeah, whole different side of me. Nothing for me to plug, Alec or Jay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning into this episode. This has been Jay
and Alec
and Joe.
Bye.